How you doing today, Graham?
I'm doing very well, as you know, as
Yes.
as
For those of you listening, this has been an extremely long process, but the joy that we're going to get out of this is the fact that we're going to reach you guys. We're going to give you guys a positive message, and we're excited to do this.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The last time we connected, we got into the discipline and criticism and how to
Yes.
overcome those issues. And today, I'm looking forward to see where we go and where we get to.
Today we're going to talk about goals, setting our goals and achieving them, and making sure that we just don't set goals, but we actually accomplish the goals, because that's the important part here, Graham. Not setting goals, but accomplishing the goals.
Oh, absolutely, because it's getting to the end that makes a massive difference, and I think it's because we all have all these things that we want to do racing through our head all of the time, and there's this great habit in society that we start something and
Mhm.
then we get distracted onto something else, and this book doesn't get finished, and or something happens, and we make promises to people, and life intervenes, and we're not able to keep those promises. And I think it's really important to understand that just one completed task is better than 100 incomplete tasks.
Oh, definitely. There was an old saying that I learned a long time ago, and it was what you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you get by achieving the goal. What I mean by that is the process itself is an amazing process. The evolution you're going to go through to get to that goal, that's what I'm looking for. I love to accomplish my goals, but the discipline that it takes to get there, that's my main focus. And with that said, I would like to get started mentioning that when I set a goal, I try to take away money out of it. That's the first thing I do, Graham. When I set a goal, I don't assume anything with money. For me, I want to get the pure joy of the goal without having the exterior world coming into that goal. Nothing to do with money. That's my main purpose of making a goal.
Yeah, this the money is really a distraction, right?
Hmm.
Because it's endless, and
Right. Yeah.
and how are you ever gonna accomplish success if the finish line keeps moving, right?
Exactly. That you nailed it, Graham. That's exactly what I was getting at. It's one of those things that money, it means a lot. Don't get me wrong. Money means a lot to a lot of people. But I'm not one of those. I love the process. I love the feeling of accomplishing something. And for me, everything I do there has to be a better reason than money, basically. That's what I always live by.
Yeah, we are very often well motivated by things outside of ourselves. I mean, we all know the talk about the inner drive and the self motivation, and find something inside of you. But at the same time, you can't ignore the external world.
Yep.
You can't ignore the fact that there's life happening around about you.
That's right. And with that said, it brings me to the next topic besides not having to worry about money. And number two for me would be making sure that your goals are your goals. And I give you a good example of that.
Hmm.
I have a 14-year-old,
Hmm.
and I've caught myself last week trying to tell him what do I want him to accomplish instead of telling him, hey, what is it that you want to accomplish out of life, and let me help you get there. So I started telling him, you know what, I want you to be an architect, or I want you to be a doctor. He looked at me and said, okay. And then I caught myself thinking, you know what, let me ask him what does he want to do. So the minute I asked him what do you want to do, my world just blew up and expanded in so many different ways, and I was so happy that I asked him that question. And now he's motivated into his own goals and accomplishing his own dreams.
Yeah, and that's the transition from speaker to listener, right? Yeah,
Yes.
because we all think that we're going to change the world by opening our mouth and telling everybody which direction to run in, but
Right. That's right.
the changes a lot of the changes begin with ourselves, and we're not going to be able to change ourselves if we're not able to to sit down, to listen, to absorb information, and to think about how the information in the world around about us is affecting us.
That's right. And when we focus on our environment, but most importantly of our true happiness, that's when you find your true goal in life. You know, once you find your true happiness, what makes you happy, then you can go out there and make somebody else happy, or find your true passion in life.
Yeah, you know, there's nothing is perhaps more, what's the word, desirable than that wish to obtain happiness, that drive towards that.
That's right. You know, a lot of people miss the message in life, which is, you know, basically, I'm one of those that I always constantly remind myself that if I want to be happy, I need to make other people happy. I'm not a clown. I'm not going to entertain them in such a way. But you know, if you want to achieve your goals, help others achieve their own goals. And I find pleasure in that. And the fact that I get to go and be a motivated speaker and a life coach and help someone else that needs help, it's extremely rewarding to me.
Yeah, and you need the outside of the box perspective as well.
Yes.
Because if you're you know, focused on your focus, that's great and that's really important. But you know, the players on the field need somebody who's not on the field observing what's happening and helping to direct them.
That's right. You know, and with that said, it's important to visualize your goals, right? It's important that once you have a goal and it's your own goal, now you can visualize it. I'm a strong believer you can never get anywhere if you don't know where you're going. You need to visualize it. To wake up every morning and think, you know what, today I'm going to work to get one step closer to my goal, right? If you can't visualize your goals, you're going to have a hard time getting there. Yeah,
you have to know the direction that you're going in, and you have to realize that, you know, the classic old sayings, Rome wasn't built in a day, and as long as you take one step in the right direction, you know, that's an achievement, right? Celebrate your successes, and you know, everybody wants everything to be like some kind of big New Year celebration with all these fireworks going off, but you know, the true reality is that you know, maybe you'll get to that point at the end, but maybe you won't, because it's working towards it. I mean, like how many teams can win the NBA championship? Only one, right?
That's right. That's a fact, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, how many teams can win the NFL? Only one. But there are so many people that are thriving from being part of the process there.
Right. And with that said, it's simply because sometimes we don't have the means to break or the guidance enough to break things down in small little chunks, small little pieces. I've always told myself, if I have a goal, I try to break it down in little steps, right? Because you can't accomplish a goal. At least for me, it depends on the goal. But you can't accomplish a long-term goal in a day. You know, it's just impossible. So for me, it is extremely important to break it down little chunks, little pieces. Even sometimes I will go by day or even by hour. You know, if I'm working on myself, I'll do yoga. You know, being honest with you, if I'm working on my health, I would tell myself, well, you know what, I'm gonna stop eating pizza for the next. I'm only gonna eat junk food on Sundays. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna have a good lifestyle, what's considered a healthy lifestyle, Monday through Fridays. Monday through Fridays. Yeah, Saturday I'm gonna have just a tiny little, you know, slice of pizza, and then Sunday I would do something I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to do something healthy and something that is not healthy at the same time, and just enjoy my life, enjoy the process. But I break it down little chunks.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, if you're cooking a good meal, you don't just throw everything in the pot at the same time, right?
Right. And this is for me, Graham. And I know that I'm going with a lot of different steps or anything, but this is the process that when I start doing a goal for myself, I go through. The next one will be connecting myself with positive people that have accomplished that goal already, or people that have something to teach me. You know, and I always used to say, I try to steal something positive from someone a day. You know, I try to steal something positive from someone a day, and that is my motto. I would clinch up to somebody that I think that they have a good personality, something that people like about that person, and I try to learn that.
Yeah, well, the greatest learning happens when the student is seeking the teacher, not the teacher seeking the student.
That's right. Yes. You're 100% right. And it's one of those things that, even if you have vast knowledge, you could always learn something new.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the what do they call it? The Dunning-Kruger effect, where the more you learn, the more incompetent you feel, because the world just gets bigger and bigger, right?
That's right. And it's huge, and it's one of those things that also keep in the big picture, making sure that you understand why you're doing that goal, and that goes back to you understanding, what's you picking your own goal, which is step number 2. You could pick your own goal, but you also understand why you're making that goal.
Oh yeah, it's you're digging deeper there into why is it important for you. And when clients come to me, I know what they want because they're here, right? I know what they want, but the question is, why do you want it? Because is this going to be, is this going to build up a long-term sort of client relationship, or is it the person just wants something right now, and you've got to be aware of what is driving the person there.
Right. So it's one of those things I always tell my clients that when you come to me, I'm gonna do 3 things. I'm gonna tell you the truth, which is kind of what you don't want to hear sometimes. They don't want to hear the truth sometimes. 2, I'm gonna listen to you. But 3, and most importantly, we gotta work on what is right. What is right. We gotta work on what is right, and if it's right for you to accomplish your goal, then that's what we're gonna work on. But most importantly, we're gonna discuss the truth, and talking about the truth is finding out why do you want to accomplish this.
And you kind of turn full circle there, because you're back to trusting the process.
That's right. Yep, you gotta trust the process. Trusting the process is one of it's so essential. It is so important for you to trust this process, and also, most importantly, trust yourself.
Absolutely.
Trust yourself for accomplishing those goals.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't understand that the first person that you have to persuade or convince is yourself.
That's right. How about this? How about don't worry about what you can't control? There's things sometimes, as you might plan your whole day. It doesn't mean you're going to go that way.
Oh yeah, yes. Absolutely. I was looking at elements of crisis management in business earlier today, and you go in 2 directions, right? Could you possibly have controlled the crisis, and what did you not do, or was there no way of knowing that the crisis was going to happen? Like the volcano exploded, the earthquake shook the ground, the tsunami wiped the town away. There's things that we can't control, and it's pointless trying to. We might want to, but
you have to accept you have to accept the fact that there's things you can't control, and you have 2 options. Either A, you're gonna sit there and give up, or B, get up, find another way, and keep on moving. I always tell everyone, as long as you move forward, you're okay. But if you fall backwards, that's a problem. Yeah, but even if you're gonna fall forward.
Oh, absolutely. Even if you're stumbling and crawling, you're still going in the right direction.
You go forward, get up, and keep on going the same direction. Never go backwards.
Yeah, I love it. It sort of channels into you have to be unstoppable if you want to.
Yes. You know what? I actually want to thank you for that. You said that today, and I love that. I love the fact that you said that today. You mentioned that, because it has so much meat into that. You have to be unstoppable. Can you imagine if people just go back and tell themselves that when they wake up in the morning, or when they're going to go to sleep, and they tell themselves, tomorrow when I wake up, I have to be unstoppable. The power in those words is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, just a little bit of doubt eats away at a person's mind, right? Just a little bit of doubt.
Yes. I mean, doubt is pollution.
Yeah.
And the more there is, the more it grows. And if it consumed you from the inside, and that's a problem. Because sometimes when we get consumed from the inside, when you have a go, you tend not to let other people, aware of it. And that's the beauty of having a life coach. That's the beauty of having a positive person in your corner. The fact that if you're going through any doubts, if there's ways that you can't find yourself, and whatever the case is, this person is there to help you. And that's why I think these videos are so effective, because not everybody got a life coach or a motivated speaker at their expense at 24 hours a day. But these conversations that you and I are doing, Graham, people can listen to it at any time, and they could gain something from it. And that's where I want to thank you for bringing me into this world and allowing me to pass this message.
That's okay. It's really important that people do what they're passionate about. You got to find your passion and feed your fire, and you've got to use that as the drive to take you forward. Because the reason for living is to make your dreams become realities, and nothing else is important.
That's right. I was saying? I was born to be different.
Yeah.
I was born to be different, and with that said, different means to make everyone around me be pleasant with life and enjoy it, because life is beautiful.
Yeah.
And
the only way, sorry to interrupt, the only way to be better is to be different.
That's right. You're right. And sometimes when you have your own goals, you have to be different than other people, because people tend not to understand the process. But it's okay. They don't have to understand the process, because it's your process. It's your commitment to yourself. So when people, I give a great example, Graham. When I came out of the military, a lot of people told me, "What are you going to do now?" I said, "You know what? I don't know. I'm retired. I can just lay back, relax, and enjoy life." That got boring quick. That got boring really quick. And I started connecting with the youth and seeing, you know what? I want to make a difference. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to wake up in the morning and feel useful. So I started this whole thing with in mind, thinking, if I change one person mind a day, then I'm okay. Then I've done something useful.
Oh yeah. One is better than none. That's
right. And that has always been, my goal, to change somebody's mind a day and be consistent, which is the number one. What's making your goal, consistency is the key. You have to, as we spoke about, reminding yourself why the goal is important, being organized. All those things are amazing, breaking down your points, breaking down your goals and small chunks, visualizing it, making sure that that you don't just worry about money and all these great things. But the main thing, if you ever want to accomplish your goal, you have to be consistent. You have to persist that you're going to wake up daily and going to work towards your goal. And with that said, let me tell you that there's a lot of people out there that they wake up, they work a 9-to-5 job. Then they go home and they don't work on themselves. For me, that has never made sense, Graham. If you could wake up in the morning and go work, or at night if you work at night, and go work for somebody else's dream, but then when you get home you don't work on your own dreams, that's kind of a problem. You have to work on your dreams daily, your own goals. I used to work a 9-to-5 job. I came home and I always worked on myself. I worked on making my own business. I worked on being better as a human, making everybody around me have a better life. Absolutely.
That's the way to take steps forward. And I think you've laid down the groundwork in this conversation for anyone to know where to start. I think
that's right.
Those are the keys that you've laid down. So I don't know if there's anything else you want to put into the main part of our conversation today. If there's anything else you want to add to that, or
no, that's pretty much it. I just want everybody to know that every day is the beginning of a new day. Mm-hmm. Wake up motivated. Make sure that if you set a goal, try your hardest to accomplish it, and make sure that you surround yourself with good, positive people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I couldn't say it any better myself. So that's it. Done.
Perfect. Thank you for everything. Thank you for everybody listening.
Thank you. Thank you too. And it's 3. one.